And good morning from your friendly neighborhood Turonin, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Tier 4 multi-role U.S. Fighter, the P-43. Now, the P-43 Lancer was an aircraft that was actually built, though it did not go into widespread production, and its combat debut was not particularly sterling. Its main contribution to U.S. forces was a platform to keep Republican operation while it built the P-47, which is already off the drawing board and going through prototyping to take a starring role in the lead fighter for the United States Air Force in World War II. As such, it shows those signs of being transitional. Airspeed is on this aircraft is 538, and there are certainly slower aircraft around. Maneuverability is 745. You can find worse, and they're certainly much better. The Hayabusa at this range will be about 400 maneuvering points ahead, though it will not deliver anywhere near the same firepower despite the fact that the gun ratings are almost identical. This is a fully upgraded aircraft, and almost all of it comes from the previous modules, so you don't have a whole lot to worry about there. You might have to do a little upgrading. I had quite a few free experience points as I bring up Tier 6 fighters to Tier 7 fighters, so I'm sure that contributed a little bit, but the load on this one is relatively light to acquire it. It does come with a pair of 250-pound bombs, so it has a very limited ground attack capability. And other than that, there's just not a whole lot to talk about. It did not have, well, it was in production. I don't believe a couple hundred aircraft were produced. It wasn't a major component of the U.S. United States Army Air Force as it was constituted at that time. The Army Air Force was a component of the U.S. Army and would not be its own service until after the war. It comes with 4 Browning M2 machine guns, and the armament difference here is just well, I hate to say it, but it's an invention. All right, there was one M2 machine gun, and then it had various modifications to make it more suitable for aircraft use. But other than that, there was not a whole lot of need. It was a reliable aircraft in land service. It was a reliable aircraft or gun in as a vehicle, coaxial gun in tanks and tank destroyers. It's mounted on all sorts of vehicles as an anti-aircraft component. And it continues in service, and the last time I heard, the only major change was to change out the wooden handles to plastic handles for durability. And it remains there. With that singular change, there has not been a whole lot of other changes to the Browning M2. There have been several attempts to replace it with something lighter. And the U.S. Army, when they looked at replacing this machine gun several times, the answer was, it's not broke, I'm not fixing it. It is a standard across most of the Western world, and the other major one is the Soviet version, which is also quite reliable. They've never been changed very much. All right, so we're going to wait to come in and show the aircraft off. Hopefully we'll have a good outing and I won't embarrass myself too much. I have a nasty habit of doing that from time to time, and you're going to see it regardless. Sorry about that. I can't control phone calls. I'll deal with that when I get done with the video. You come first. All right, so I have high hopes that someday I will be able to get into this game, finish it up, and we'll talk to the guy that was calling me later. I don't know what everybody else's experience in life is, but I have been receiving a lot of robocalls for stuff I have no interest in whatsoever. It's kind of irritating. I wish I'd turned the phone off. All right, here we begin. And this is a good map to show off the aircraft. Tier 4 and Tier 3 fighters, yeah, you should be able to have a nice showing for it. Hopefully if the team doesn't implode from underneath me or I don't really royally screw up, should be okay. We'll take it from there and see how we do. And we'll enjoy the cinematics. This is my ongoing review of the United States multi-role aircraft line. And as you can tell, this isn't a world beater in speed, but we'll go ahead and add a little something to it. We drop a couple of bombs. It's not like this is an aircraft that's going to really affect the ground attack much. It doesn't have enough weapons on it to do that. And against Tier 3 aircraft, it does just fine at tearing up enemy fighters. That's not saying a whole lot, mind you, but it's not really any different from an F4F in that regard. It's not going to impress everybody with its maneuverability, and it's not going to impress anybody with its speed. Got decent survivability, and the gun power's okay. Now, mind you, most of my experience these days is with Tier 6 and Tier 7 aircraft, and bringing up some ground attack aircraft which have ferocious firepower. So I rather doubt that that I'm coming at this with an unbiased view. As a Tier 4 aircraft, it's just fine. I've certainly brought up things that were more painful. And I killed 11 aircraft in the first go with this before I opened this up to making a video. So we're going to go ahead and close in on this aircraft. Pretty ferocious in that regard. And I'm not particularly scared of anybody in this thing. Like I said, so you get somebody in your turn and burn fighter, one of these biplanes on your tail, I'll be singing a whole nother tune real quickly, as you can imagine. You're not going to get away from them. And I'm crying home for mama right now because, of course, I'm having some difficulty here. This ground attack aircraft, the Blenheim, I tried to roll out of the way and did not succeed real well. Has decided that I'm to be a dog's lunch for him. I'm going to do my best to dissuade him of that, hope for a little help here, and make him a believer not to attack me again. The guns take a very long time to overheat in that regard. And there you go. We have a airfield. We have our 2 points. And we have 2 bombs, and I'm pretty well chewed up. So we're going to come back here to the airfield and try to get some healing from this thing. Hopefully it will let me heal. All right. As a multi-role aircraft, it's actually not bad. You got a good long boost on it too. You get 8 seconds here. And they're, like I said before, they're certainly doesn't lack for firepower at its tier. And it can take a beating. And it's very good at getting behind Blenheims and blowing the bejesus out of them. And we're going to do our best here to take out these ground attack aircraft. Oh, that's nicely done. This is a good ground attack pilot. And that biplane is going to make use of his maneuverability to get behind me. And he pulls off, which is a mistake. I don't understand that at all. It's an air defense aircraft against the AI. It's not that good. Don't count on that with a live pilot. They're going to kill you. And you notice these fellows managed to get behind me very quickly. And they're staying with me, which is what they should be doing. Alright, so we had 3 aircraft attack us there, and obviously we didn't get enough help. And if you want to know why you lose games, that's how you lose games. Too many aircraft over our central position. We need to take a 3rd cap to win this, and the enemy is building up a very substantial lead. Well, I count 3 fighters in the wrong zone. Alright, so we did enough to do it right. We're going to get into that cap and stay in that cap as long as we can survive it. And the maneuverability with a boost, I'm sorry, that was a 10-second boost on that. Isn't bad at all. Given the toughness of this plane and the relative firepower, and you do have to range it against what you're realistically going to see, it's not a bad aircraft at all. But what I do want to do is we have 3 caps now, and I want to keep them. And that ground attack fighter is going to do what he can to just wreck things as quickly as possible. Had a little bit of a screen fire there. I've got somebody on my tail. It's not a good idea to leave somebody on your tail very long, or at all. And I do have some vertical capability here. I'm going to make use of it. And thank him for shooting me up earlier. Alright, we're going to have to head back to the base and repair. Because I'm too torn up to survive otherwise. So we'll take it from there. Try to get some repairs done. And I see a red wrench. I'm not sure what's going on there. And that maybe is some sort of timer on the... I see an enemy aircraft sitting above us, and that probably is what the problem is. As a high altitude fighter, this makes a good multi-role fighter. The engine isn't going to overwhelm anyone. And once you get rid of the fighter, it began to repair. Okay, so we had some success there. Good aircraft. You'll have no problem leveling this at all. Maneuverability is okay for a multi-role fighter. I've seen worse, and some aircraft really come to mind that this just does head and tails over better. It's not much. It doesn't have really much ground potential with only 2 bombs, but it can compete at least to some degree with other fighters. The armament's very effective in that regard. It's rather short range, but it will definitely chew through your opponents relatively quickly. We destroyed 8 enemy targets, assisted with 4, and captured 3 sectors. This is repeatable. I actually did better in the one before I started the video. So this should be one that you can enjoy. I suspect you won't spend very long on the aircraft because it's so easy to get victories in it and to get the points that you want. And in fact, let's take a look at the next one, which is the XP-44 rocket. Obviously another Seversky Republic aircraft. And you can tell we only have about 6,600 points to go to upgrade to it. So I'm sure you'll enjoy the plane while you have it. For how long you'll be in it, I don't think you're going to be in it all that long before you're going to be in the rocket. And that will probably be the next aircraft I review. This is a good, steady, workmanlike aircraft. I've had aircraft shot down before this aircraft before. It's a good plane. It is tier. It fits right in. Shouldn't have too much trouble with it. And it's a good all-around performer. Survivability of 220 is quite adequate. The firepower of 862 is an all-machine gun armament, so you're not going to overheat it unless you're really laying on the guns. Airspeed of 538. Again, that's right in its tier. Maneuverability of 745. There's more maneuverable planes out there, but you're more maneuverable than a lot of the ground attack aircraft and other nations' multi-roles, so I wouldn't really worry that much about it. Altitude performance is kind of low, but it's nothing you can't live with. So I think you're going to be happy with this aircraft. Listen, I do appreciate you spending some time with me. I hope you're having a good day. And remember to like the video and please subscribe. I can use all the subscribers I can get. I thank you very much and bless you.